Yo, Jazzabelle in Vail, Colorado. Matthew here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, and I'm going to show you how I cut polarized brown lenses for your new RayBan 5121 Wayfarer in the color 2291, which is the yellow Havana in the 50 eye size. Let me go ahead and take everything out for you. This is your Italian leather RayBan case that says Wayfarer on it. This is the yellow Havana. Great color. In fact, let me hold this up to the light so you can really see it. And of course, this is a little plastic sleeve they put on the left temple to prevent the temples from rubbing together during shipping. If they think it's a good idea to put one on there, didn't have another one around, I'll get it. I'll get it. Hang on, hang on. I'm going to put a second one on this side when I ship to you, so we'll have twice the protection. But let me go ahead and take off all the original packaging, set that down, because you're going to get all the original packaging, including your demo lenses that one of them says RayBan. I'm going to pop these out really quick. Set them on the counter, and of course this is the RayBan 5121. The color is the 2291 in the 50 eye size. It's got the triple barrel hinge, which the Wayfarer is famous for. And I'm going to put your famous frame into my $30,000 Italian Santanelli. This is the LE1000 patternless edger, and the stylus is going to pop up and trace the shape of the right lens, and then it's going to move over and trace the shape of the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame, and you will receive free, clear, single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. If you have vision insurance or flex dollars that you're not using, my receipt has my federal ID tax number on there, so you will be reimbursed for your purchase. Let me hold that up so you can really see the nice color of this frame. It also comes in the classic shiny black, but this is my favorite color. Of course, you said you needed these with the polarized brown lenses for when you're skiing in Vail. You got to look cute, and I understand that. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to take your polarized lens, and one way you can always check to see if your lenses are polarized, and if you pass one in front of the other, you should still be able to see through them. But you hear the term polar opposites. When you rotate the lens by 90 degrees, it goes pitch black and blocks all available light. That's how you can always test to see if lenses are polarized. Of course, you need a one pair already, but then you can test it on the other. But this is a block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. So I'm going to use a double-sided adhesive sticker made by 3M. The same people who brought you Post-it notes make double-sided stickers. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the block, pull the tape away, and then stick that down there. I'm going to do the same thing now for the other side. Pull away the tape, stick that on there. And let me take your first lens, put it into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. But first things first, I better pull up the shape. Now, if this were prescription, and these aren't, these are just for fashion and for protection from the glare off the snow, but I'm just going to have it match the frame PD. These are polycarbonate lenses that are being cut for a Xyle frame. And I know from experience I'm going to bring these down a little bit in size because this has a very deep bevel, and I may have to bring it down some more, but for now I'm just going to cut it down a little bit at a time. But I am hitting start, and the first thing that's going to happen is these calipers will come down, and it's going to trace the shape of the right side of this frame to make sure the lens is large enough to fit. Always starting with the concave surface, which is the rear surface closest to your eyelashes, before moving over and tracing the front surface, the convex side of the lens. Now, the actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your polycarbonate material. And this wheel in the center is what's going to put the channel or the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I will have to close the door in just a moment due to the sound, but for now I just want you to see as your brown polarized lens touches down on the cutting wheel. So your lenses are made out of polycarb. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are also virtually unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are even 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes, which is very important because of all the glare that's going to come off the snow. And the reasons why polarized lenses work is The same way you can skip a stone off of water. Light does the same thing. It hits a flat surface and reflects back up. But not just off of roads, off of bumpers, off of windshields, especially around water, but more particularly in your case around snow. So this is going to block so much of that glare that you get while skiing or anywhere around water or any flat surface. Plus it's going to make you look cute too, so you can't help that. So water jets have just kicked in. Polycarbonate, if you notice there is water running in the background, but polycarbonate cuts dry until the very last step, and it's just here to wash away any optical debris, any optical sawdust, if you will, that's left over on the lens. It is washing that off. So as soon as this is done, I'll take it out and we'll try and get it mounted into your frame. So that is done. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to dry the lens off. Now you still have some rough edges left over from the cutting cycle, so I want to use my hand stone, which is completely flat. I can put my finger on it while it's running. My finger gets warm due to the friction, but it's that friction that allows me to apply what's known as the safety bevel. I'm going to use my thumbnail to scrape off. This is called Schwarf, and that concludes your vocabulary lesson of the day. And once that is all off your lens and onto the counter, I carefully collect it into one pile, and then I wipe it on the floor because I can. So let's go ahead and get your lens mounted. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and then using my thumbs I press down at the nose and it snaps in perfectly. So let's go ahead and start cutting the left lens. I'm going to flip this over to L, which means not right, and hit start. Pull my finger out of the way so it doesn't get pinched. But just like before, the calipers are going to come down, but this time they're going to trace the shape of the left side of the frame to make sure this lens is large enough to fit, and it is. It does this every time. It comes more into play with prescription lenses. And by the way, Jazzabelle and Vail, should you ever need prescription lenses for this frame or anyone else who has that frame, I can cut the lenses only and ship them to you, and you see how easy it is to pop them in. In fact, if you were ever to change your lenses, well, let me take this block off, it's no longer needed. But if you ever want to change your lenses out, I'm going to let you watch this as it touches down on the cutting wheel. Then I'll show you how to do this. Okay, so no matter whether you're putting a lens into the frame or taking a lens out, you're always going to push down with your thumb. So in order to take the lens out, I turn the frame downward with the temples facing upward. I'm right-handed, so I hold the frame with my left hand. I place my right thumb at the nose. I grab the lens by the other side so it doesn't fall on the floor. But I use my other thumb to put on top, and you just push down with your thumb, out comes the lens. Now in order to mount the lens, I turn the frame upright, and I have the side I'm working on closest to me. I'm not trying to reach across like this. I have it closest to me, and then using my thumb, well, first I place it at the outside corner, which is closest to my chest, and then using my thumbs, just like before, you press down with your thumbs at the nose, and it snaps in. By the way, I only ship the unbreakable bulletproof lenses, so you never have to worry about cracking a lens. You never have to worry about damaging this frame, unless, since you are in Vail, this is a good point. As long as the frame is at room temperature, plastic can be very brittle. If you leave these in your vehicle overnight in sub-freezing weather, the plastic can become brittle, so that's the only thing. Just make sure your lens is or your frame is at room temperature before you push them in or take them out. So the water jets are kicking in. That means we're on the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle. We'll take it out, then we'll get your left lens mounted. Now, of course, the 5121 Wayfarer gives you that classic look, but it only comes with clear lenses. So that's why I'm cutting the unbreakable bulletproof polarized, not just tinted, but polarized lenses for your frame. So I want to use the hand stone real quick to smooth off those edges. Use my thumbnail to scrape all that off onto the counter. And then once it's on the counter, you wipe it on the floor just like a professional would. So I now have the left side, the empty side, closest to me. I'm not reaching across the frame. I tuck it in at the outside corner closest to me, and using my thumbs, I press down at the nose and it snaps in perfectly. I'm going to take the block off and dry your lens off. The other thing I want to do at this point is remind everyone that when you get these in the mail, if they're too loose or they're too tight, or more than likely one side is higher than the other, that's because 80% of the time people have one ear that's higher than the other, and I'm no different. But that's why 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. It takes about 30 seconds to a minute to get these adjusted properly, but I'm going to get them in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. And when I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off and I set them down, they wobble. They wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. So that's it. I press down. There is no wobble. I love the pattern on here. I call it brindle because a friend of mine has a brindle color boxer, and this is what it reminds me of. This frame is so beautiful. Guys, I know this is really popular in the shiny black, but to me this frame really does it. If you wear browns and linens or anything else, this is just an incredible frame to have. So think about it with your purchase. But anyway, back to work. Press down, there is no wobble. Flip them over, there is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. And there's the same amount of tension on each triple barrel hinge. This frame is built so well that you could sit on it, step on it, and more than likely this thing will last you for 20 years. This thing is like a tank. So that's that. If anyone has any questions about what I can and can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the contact me button on the website. So Jazzabelle in Vail, Colorado, who got these so you can look cute on the ski slopes. I hope you enjoyed watching me cut polarized brown lenses for your RayBan 5121 Wayfarer in the color 2291, which is the yellow Havana, in the 55 eye size. the 50 eye size. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.